Okay. This is called DEI Revisited. If you don't know what DEI is, it means diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there's been a lot of people that they've explained how this has caused a lot of problems. Because before this, we had what would best be described as a meritocracy. So when people had a higher level of expertise, they would be put in the appropriate position. And in replacement of that, there was this DEI strategy, which basically said that we need one of all, it's called, or it could be called the Noah's Ark strategy. Except it, instead of being filled with like 4 people, was there 4, 3, 5? I can't remember. Again, not that religious. But there was no more than fits on a human hand. And then every animal on Earth. And so I feel like, and this was a flood. This was an extreme. This was like there's a flood. There's a fucking national. This would be like breaking news. There's a flood. Some clever guy got his family and every single animal on Earth, and rescued them. And that's called Noah and the Ark, Noah's Ark. If you compare that to DEI, DEI is like if you fill the boat with fucking a bunch of people from all different lands and landed them in England or in the United States, and then just killed all the animals and got it down to just like sheep, goats, cows, and pigs, and chickens. And then you mutated the chickens so that they had big fucking tits. They called them Pamela Anderson chickens. And then you get another, you also mutate and interbreed another set of the chickens that just fucking lays a shitload of eggs really quickly instead of like living out a long life. It just gets, it's like, and never you eat the chicken that makes the eggs. It's not very yummy, and you eat the eggs from the chicken the chickens with the big tits. Pamela Anderson chickens, they usually don't even get to the stage where they lay eggs because they're either eaten or they're morbidly and horrifically disabled by their disfigurement. So DEI, basically, the way to debunk DEI is just to go, well, what have all of you got growing on the front of your place? It's just lawn, isn't it? It's just grass, isn't it? It's just grass and concrete and carpet and windows and bullshit and fucking communists, isn't it? See, it's not diverse if you're all communists, if you're all socialists. It's not equitable because you're only letting socialists and communists in. And it's not inclusive because it's, as I said, it's only socialists and communists and grass and carpet and fucking bricks and windows. And that's it. And bullshit. And not even real bullshit. If you put real bullshit out and put it around the thing and grow some fruit trees in your lawn and, had some bird baths and some other things and called in all the fucking animals like your fucking Ace Ventura, then you could perhaps begin to start talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, as long as you're overseeing vast swathes of, agricultural monocultural, industrial pesticide, industrial fertilizer, industrial agricultural fucking delusionary things with one plant growing on the fucking place and one chemical, patented and commercially protected and enforced through your communist social. It's like there's no fucking DEI to be seen. Not even some marigolds along the edges or anything. It's just fucking oceans of wheat or oceans of corn or oceans of grass Oceans of fucking lawn. Oceans of fucking the same thing. And the same chemicals with the same fucking brand names and the same fucking everything, on the same forms, in the same little fucking copy and paste fucking local governments around the fucking country, in the same fucking, having the same conversation with the same fucking newspapers and the same fuck off with your DEI shit, because we're opening up the fucking party. Fucking DEI. How dare you? Like, what DEI of what? Dickheads? The dickhead entitled fucking incompetent fucking parade? Yeah. DEI. The douchebag fucking, I don't know. The douchebag expense investments account. The fucking the desert extension industry. Yeah. The desert extension industry. That's how he's going to kill us this time. You know what I mean? He did it with a flood. And he said, I will never fucking flood yous again. Ever. I'm going to turn yous into a desert instead. And the people that are going to usher that in are the desert extension industry. And they're going to promote this DEI concept around the fucking world of conceptual fucking and never-endingly expanding and increasing ideologies. Which is all a fucking race really is, or an ethnicity, or an ideology, or a gender, like sexual proclivity, or a political bent. It's a conceptual fucking, momentary ideology, and that's. And then some of them have different colors and different hair and because of how long they've all been bumping into each other in the same spot, in the same conditions. This is why we have 1,000 different types of the same species of tree or animal. It's why Australia is or was, completely covered with our version of unique animal species called the marsupial, because it's a big island, and so we just had marsupials here, and everyone's like, "What's a marsupial?" It's like they're all in Australia. They have a pouch, they're like an elongated pouch rat that has thousands of different manifestations here. And imagine that no one's got to sit there. We've got the quokkas, we've got kangaroos, we've got fucking quendas, we've got fucking quolls, we've got fucking, what else? We've got possums, fucking marsupials all over, wallabies, fucking Jesus Christ, fucking, okay. Have we got everything? Is everyone on board? And then somebody like the Western Ray, speckled, fucking knobbly fucking thing. He's like, this boat isn't big enough for all of this. You fucking lied to me. Have we got the fucking radical feminist, fucking anarchist, fucking, Subaru driving Manchester United fans in the fucking DEI? Have we got the Kalahari Bushmen representing the fucking environmental and bushfire mitigation policy in the central Nullarbor? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, they're like, here's a DEI, where this is what we're going to do. And we're like, all right, here's a fucking bulldozer of fucking DEI. Now plant some trees that are all going to be diverse, equitable, and inclusive. Plant some fucking trees. It's human-centric. Human-centric. I'm going to call the first 2,000 years of Christianity, which is coming up at the 2033. They're going to open that fucking door again in the Vatican, because they're the ones who fucking, you know what I mean? Jesus gave them his will, despite them killing him. Whatever. And so in 2033, apparently, Jesus is going to be dead for 2,000 years, right? So the first 2,000 years And this is why we're getting ready. Like we've only got, 7 years to go, which seems like ages. I'm like, I don't want to wait 7 years to say fucking happy birthday to Jesus' death. Like the Millennium Party, like Y2K, JC2K. Yeah, JC2K. Because that's what I'm ready. It's like, that's, I'll send that to fucking the PR firm. So you better get ready with the old JC2K. Bill Gates is just sitting there. He's like, I've got a new computer program and all the clocks are going to go back and Jesus is going to fall out of the fucking ground and we're going to fucking all get antivirus. Anti-fucking virus. Too many humans, right? Too many humans in all of our fucking strategies. Too much conceptual humanity, right? Arguing about the different manifestations of fucking humans and too much wheat, too much corn, too much. You've heard fucking RFK. Yeah? You've heard him. You've seen the fucking image now. He turned it upside down. That's like if you get the old fucking pyramid and you get the new pyramid, it makes an hourglass and the sand is dripping through that hourglass as a countdown to fucking JC2K in 2033. And if we do not fucking radically increase the diversity, equity, and inclusion of every species of plant and animal and fish and fucking, insect and fucking microbe and thing, then the desert extension industry is going to be successful and we're all going to perish. Did you hear that thunder? I did. Thunder. It's always the ones waiting for a flood that get fucking, snuck up on and get overwhelmed by a sandstorm in a desert. And to put this, it's like basically, if you go to Google Maps, Google Earth, the one that's really good, the high thing one, you put it on satellite, you go, look, you're right, you get right down, you look at the point where Jesus was born and the point where he was killed, you measure the distance between those two fucking places, right? Then you make a radius of that. So you go, right, this is the circle of influence of Jesus Christ almost 2,000 years ago, right? Let's expand out from that and have a look at what has happened to the world around fucking Jesus. It's turned into a desert, right? Hasn't it? It's a bit of a desert. Why 2,000 years ago, all these things, why would they fucking care about some fucking mouthy git in the desert in Rome? That's a bit of a hike. And the reason for that is because it wasn't a desert. And basically, Jesus was telling everyone that it was going to be a desert, and they didn't listen to him. And this is the second act. 7 years. 7 years of you had 2,000 years, and look what you did with it. And look at that fucking pretty little desert he told you all about. He's like, you're going to hang me the fuck up and it's going to turn into a desert. And 2,000 years later, you're still going to be arguing about what I said. And around you is going to be a desert. And then some other dickhead's going to arrive and give you approximately 7 years to stop all this human-centric fucking conceptual fucking, delusion, because you're all the same fucking species, you're all the same ratty fucking monkey that's hobbled its way out of Africa and bumped into fucking things all the time. Like when you see on Minecraft the villages or like the other things that are always just like bumped, they're like two square fucking pixelated fucking moronic fucking, but that's the story of humanity. If you want to really, I'm sorry to fucking, you know what I mean, be discriminatory against every single manifestation of humankind, but that's, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You go to the fucking DEI thing of the fucking celestial fucking plane? I don't think so. You just got to deal with it, you fucking monkey, fucking retarded fucking apes, right? And as I said, you got 7 years, or fucking take two on the old fucking desertification of the world. And that won't be survivable. I read that just in this book here. Ooh, what was that? Bookmark fell out. there's a fucking camera just to make sure that you're all aware. And there's a grizzly bear. People, see, there's already two. I've doubled your capacity. Imagine you dealt with all the DEI of wildlife and of people, right? And then of the landscape, or the DEI of the landscape, the people, and the wildlife. That's threefold. That's a threefold increase. And then travel, the diversity of travel, right? Travel is what caused all this diversity nonsense in the first place, because every human, all the people love to travel. And when they travel, they fucked the landscape and the wildlife and created urban hell, soon to be renamed urban desert hell. Now, this is a picture that I took in my ex-girlfriend Mary's bathroom of a Cub Scout salute and my handheld device. And this is what I used to trap my new girlfriend, because I'm gorgeous, aren't I? I went, hey. And she went, oh. And now, ever since then, I've been convincing both of those to get together and have a menage a trois, which I'm now negotiating with the Church of England in order to, allow those things. So there's a bit of a fucking, I don't want there to be a stampede, but there might be a little bit of a stampede to get in on that fucking menage a trois. Jacques Joseph never did see Egypt. He always regretted being denied a place on Napoleon's expedition in 1798, and no other opportunity arose in his career unfolded. I was going to go to Egypt once, and I arranged it with my children's mother, who was my, basically my wife at the time, and it all went too well. And then she spent too much money, and I couldn't use the money that I'd, worked very hard for and wanted to go to Egypt, and so I wasn't allowed to go. And that's why I have this book. And that's around about when all this nonsense started, actually, to be honest, because that was a break in the covenant that I made with her for me to go to Egypt. And I worked. I said, if I get this next job, because it was a quote, basically, to ramble on. I had a quote for a job to enclose someone's outdoor patio. And this woman, I think, was perhaps like a Egyptian goddess or an Egyptian priestess or something like that. And she gave me a chat. She said, yeah, this, and I made this arrangement. And if she agrees to this quote, because no one would ever agree to it because it's really expensive to do. And so a lot of tire kickers out there. And anyway, she agreed. I did the job. It was a bit of a nightmare. Like, I had a concreter I gave him a deposit and he fucked off, and I had to go and threaten to break his face to get my money back. And then I was up against it. We had to end up doing all the concrete ourselves. So I had to get my mate, who's a plasterer, to get his fucking crew together and get a fucking concrete thing and get a concrete pour to put a footing down. And most, if I was an Indian tradesman, I would have just screwed the fucking frames to the fucking pavers. And the whole thing would have been, a nightmare. And so that tells you the lengths that a appropriately, skilled and responsible British English guild member, glazier / window fabricator / engine, whatever, goes to get a job done properly, especially if that person is from an Egyptian priestess, and then you make an arrangement. But then my children's mother spent too much money on God knows what, and I couldn't go. And that was where I broke the covenant. And that is why I've been cursed with this this task here that you see in front of you, if you want to know. So be careful out there. And now I'm going to read 5 words from the English dictionary to just kind of confirm all of this, so that you get planting and you stop fucking arguing about what color, what fucking language, what fucking God, what fucking, shade of fucking eyeshadow you use, how many wives you're allowed to have, how many of these things. And you've got to just make negotiations with between you and God, and then, obviously expose hypocrisy and hysteria, which this is DEI in the ideology field of the same species in a, potential environmental catastrophe is a ridiculous fucking strategy, when the solution is a DEI strategy of every single living thing on earth immediately and, never-endingly for 7 years, and then you might stand a chance for God to forgive you all. Right. So the first word is staircase. We are at the bottom of the staircase, right? We have 7 years to reach the top of the staircase, and at the top of the staircase there is a door, and I'm going to knock on that fucking holy door in the Vatican in St. Peter's. I think it's in St. Peter's, and I'm going to say, God, did we fucking do it? Did we do it? Did we do good enough job? So, like I said, to take a snapshot on Google Earth of where Jesus was born and where he died, and then a radius around that, and then expand out and see how much of that is desert. Get AI to translate all of Jesus's words and try and figure out whether Jesus was perhaps giving you the exact warning about the desert that I'm giving you, but in Aramaic and all the other languages. Then realize that at the bottom of the staircase, right, in 7 years, we get to do that again. And if God is sufficiently fucking pleased with what the human race as a whole has been able to do, then he will not kill us all with sandstorms and drought and hideous bushfires and all the stuff that deserts are. So next word, parolee, one who is released on parole. Yeah, 9 months I was a parolee, but not really. I was on a suspended sentence for sharing a photograph of my family. That's some fucking serious DEI fucking. Especially when all I was really saying is plant more trees or we're all going to die. Emporium, a large store selling a great variety of articles. There will soon be seed emporiums everywhere. It is your responsibility to absolutely guarantee that these seeds and these plants reach thing and that they are planted in the ground and looked after at the highest level. And anyone who fucking mows any fucking lawn in the next 7 years in this country will be shot dead in the fucking street. There will be plenty of lawn mowing available to you after the 7 years of planting. But if you mow a lawn in this 7 years, you will be shot in the street. Nowadays, the present day, in these times, this is the present times. Everything that's come before it needs to be put aside, and we have a 7-year project as humans to achieve in the present times. So arguing about the past is retarded because everything in the past was warning you about what would happen if you didn't do it then. And so we have now 2,000 years of arguing. Maybe we can try 7 years of fucking planting in the present day, in the present times, nowadays. Last word, equivocation. The use of equivocal or ambiguous expressions, especially in order to mislead, prevarication, or an equivocal or ambiguous expression, equivoke. That is what politicians have been doing forever, but really significantly lately. That is illegal. So when I say, right, Australia needs to plant trees, diverse, and it doesn't need to be just natives because it's just everything, right? God will sort it out. We don't bring in one solution. We don't bring in one fucking cane toad to deal with one monocultural fucking thing to do with one fucking pest and then sit there and say that was a strategy. We need to bring everything in. Everything. In the small scale. So it's like you start at that fucking patch of lawn because you're not allowed to fucking have a lawn. You're not allowed to have a lawn. You will be shot in the fucking street. So you need to start putting something else out there, and it should be tons of things. And then it's like a competition. It's like, look at my ecosystem thriving here. I've got the balance just right, and all the seeds will blow around and all this fucking thing. It's fucking wonderful. And then from that, we will learn this is what suburbia is actually fucking designed for, is to rescue us all. Then we will know what the things are to balance. And the thing is just more and more and more and more. Get everything going. Everything. Don't be an idiot. Don't plan to fucking flam. But just we've got to get things going in the fucking ground. Otherwise, this place turns into a desert. Oh, hey. And it's like, I'm not going to wait around very long. If you don't look like you're going to do it, I'm just going straight to fucking Greenland and I'm going home. I'm going to fucking walk the secret walk of the secret hidden fucking realms. I'm going to fucking bend time and space and disappear like a fucking polar bear on a fucking iceberg, and you will never fucking see me again. You know what I mean? And on the day, 7 years' time, on the 9th of January, 2033, when that door is fucking knocked on, the answer will reply, you didn't listen, and now you all die. It's that fucking simple, folks. It's always been that fucking simple. They, and by they I mean him, he plays games in his time, not in yours. You know what I mean? Every fucking level, every little thing of this is designed to show your bumbling fucking nonsense bullshit to the world of your species of absolute fucking morons. You were given all the gifts, you were giving all the direction, all the fucking wonders, all the fucking technology, all the fucking things in the world. And you devolved to the point of arguing about the most ridiculously unimportant, useless fucking bullshit, whilst also spending as much energy at creating new ones. That is the fucking perpetual motion machine that every engineer and every fucking physicist and every whatever will claim is nonsense, yet that is what is running your fucking entire global fucking sphere right now. The perpetual thing where we need to increase diversity of our ideologies whilst creating an abundance of ideologies to the extreme point that within a 14-year period, somebody claiming that the most extreme proponent of a extreme leftist ideology is now getting heckled out of a fucking library for reading his own book for declaring that the new extreme is extreme. You know what I mean? Stop wandering in the desert. Not the Jews. Jews have done that. The Jews have done their wandering. This was the Gentiles wandering. And you're doing all the same things. You're creating things, you're fucking rebel, whatever, trying to kill God, you're doing everything, you're out there fucking there, and you're arguing, we need more diversity, we need more, and no one's doing anything else for anything that isn't a fucking human. I think this is best. This movie that's coming out soon, 28 years later, the Bone Temple, and it's like, that shows you he's building a temple out of bones, human bones. That's all that will be left. And don't think that that's not true. Go to the catacombs. Go look at places where that has already existed. That is, you do a very good job at talking a lot of bullshit to pretend that that's not what you're doing, but that is all you're doing. It's piling fucking bones on top of each other to fucking, just create temples to fucking humanity's fucking wonderful fucking expression on the earth. And that's what's going to be the inevitable conclusion of the human species and this planet is a desert planet with pyramids made of human skulls and human skeletons and human bones that the survivors pile up in the hopes to restore their once glorious technological and ideologically diverse and equitable and inclusive fucking empire, in a hope to please the gods please God in order to bring that back. So that time you's all got to work, I think. Not only have you prevented me talking and doing these things and tried to kill me and tried to send me insane and limited and stolen much, all these fucking never-ending fucking list of things, but you've also the most grievous thing that you've done against me is you've prevented me from planting trees. And that's in the fucking Bible. And you've destroyed vegetation. You don't. So it's 7 years. 7 years in Tibet. Take 2. 7 years. The ultimate regret.